Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are just going to be going through my kids' closets. Do you need motivation to go through that closet yet again? Then put this video on and let's get to it together. I probably go through my children's clothes every 3 to 4 months. I have 3 kids, all 5 and under, and I've just noticed they grow out of things frequently. They get holes, they get ripped, so I'm just constantly trying to go through them and find stuff that needs to be mended, find things that I can put in storage for the next child, or the seasons are constantly changing. The state that I live in, we do get all 4 seasons, and sometimes all 4 of those seasons come in one day, so it's been a lot of fun trying to figure out how to manage all of the kids' clothes. I do want to mention, obviously it's obvious that I am fast forwarding through this. It did take me a total of 28 minutes to go through all 3 of my kids' clothes. So one of the things that I have noticed over the last year or so is that I don't do well with a minimalistic amount of clothing for my children. I really did try 5 t-shirts, 5 pants, 5 shirts, that kind of stuff, and just the way that I manage laundry in my home, it wasn't practical for me. So that was one of the reasons I had gone back through and kind of reorganized everything in their closets. We also were in that very weird season of it's spring, it's summer, it's winter. So I was just trying to have a good variety of clothing out for them, but not an overwhelming amount, but also to make sure that they were able to dress for the temperature, because my children do pretty much dress themselves on their own most days. One way that I am able to manage a bigger task like this while also still parenting and taking care of other things around the house is chunking the task up into different categories. One of the things that I have done in my household is I have put specific things on a schedule. In certain days of the weeks, I do certain things. So on Mondays, I will go through and manage a task in my home that has just been constantly on my mind. I'm sure you also have moments like this where you're just in the middle of doing something and you're just gosh, I really need to do XYZ, and it just kind of keeps popping back up in your mind. But for me, it was too overwhelming to just do it all at once, especially with something like this where I'm organizing kids' clothes and then I'm taking stuff out and then it has to be put downstairs or in a donation bin, and it just becomes a lot at once. So for me, what I will do specifically is when I feel the need to go through my kids' clothes for the various reasons, I will put them all in a pile together and I will go section by section. I will do one kid's clothes, t-shirts, then the pants, then the shorts, then the dresses, etc. Because then if I get interrupted, it's very easy to come back to. If I'm going through all of one child's clothing and everything is piled all over the room, which is what I used to do, coming back to that task or being taken away from it was so overwhelming that it just almost set my brain on fire. So for me, I started to chunk it out into smaller portions, and then even when I have completely organized everything and I have a basket full of stuff that needs to go to donations or downstairs for another kid to wear in the future, or in this case I'm pulling out some winter stuff and putting that away, I literally will take that basket and put it in my basement and I don't touch it until the next time I actually have the space and the time and my children are taken care of and other things are taken care of. That way I don't have all these pressing needs overwhelming my mind. So the next thing I wanted to do was just give you some practical questions that you can ask yourself when you are going through your kids' clothing and decluttering everything. One of the first things that I realized after I tried to like minimize my kids' closet was I don't enjoy having to do so much laundry so they actually have clean clothes. We also do travel often, so there are a lot of times where I have a basket in my room filled with 4 to 8 outfits for our children, and I need there to be enough clothing for my kids for them to get dressed for the week, while all of those outfits are also sitting in the basket or sitting in the suitcase because I haven't had time to wash it afterward. So one of the first questions you could ask yourself before going through and decluttering is like, do you enjoy doing laundry every single day? Is laundry something that is practical for you to get done every single day in your life? Is it something that you can only do once a week? That is going to make a big difference in how much clothing you actually plan on keeping for your children. The next question you could ask yourself is, what kind of activities are your children involved in? Do they do sports? Then obviously that entails a whole nother type of wardrobe. Are you the parent that enjoys them to have clothes that are just for school and clothes that are just for playing? Do you care if their clothes mix and match? That's the kind of stuff you want to be thinking about too. For me personally, we have a basket of mud clothing, we call them. When I know my kids are going to be getting very dirty playing in their mud pit and it's rained and it's going to just get really, really gross, I will put them in that clothing because I don't want their other stuff to get dirty. And I have noticed sometimes when I do laundry, the mud just doesn't come out. And that's a choice that I made personally. You may not want to make that choice. And the next question I had after that is, do you want them to have separate play clothes? That kind of goes along with what I was just talking about. Do you care if they have play clothes that can get really destroyed? You know, it's totally up to you. Are you the type of mom or dad that's going to cut clothing up when they get holes and rips and things in them? That's the kind of stuff you want to be thinking about while you're decluttering or before you even decide to declutter their clothes. The next question that I have written down here is, do you want a variety of clothing in their closet? Kind of like if they're doing a sport or an activity. Do you want the play clothes, the regular day clothes, the church clothes, the dress clothes, etc.? Or can everything be mixed and matched? That will play a big part in how many things you allow to keep in your child's closet. The next kind of question you want to think about, I already touched on a little bit, but what is practical for you, your household, your family, your child or children? This depends on your kid's age, how many kids you have. Are they homeschooled? Do they go to school? Do you travel? Are you a stay-at-home mom? Are you a working mom? Everyone's household looks different. Even another stay-at-home mom that has 3 kids, their age gaps could be different than mine. That's going to look very different than my household. So you want to think about what's practical for you in your current stage of life. Are you able to get a load of laundry washed, folded, dried, put away in a day, or does it take 3 to 5 business days to put the basket away afterward? Are you the type of family that does chores together? Are you having your children help you do those chores? Because if so, it will take a little bit longer for them to figure out how to put their laundry away. Do you care if the laundry is folded? Do you care if it's just thrown in a bin or in their dresser? These are the kind of questions you want to think about when you are decluttering through the closet, because what you don't want to get into is getting rid of a bunch of stuff because everyone's saying you should be minimalistic with your children's clothing, and then you realize it's not practical for your lifestyle. You realize that you work too much and you're not able to do laundry every single day. Or you just realize that your kids get extremely dirty and they're just not a clean eater and every shirt is stained within 3 days. So these are the kind of things you want to be thinking about when you are going through your closet and decluttering, so that way you're not setting yourself up for failure, because you know your household, you know your lifestyle, and you know your children. You're going to know best what your family needs, what your children needs, better than anyone else and what they can tell you, even your own mother.